What is up, y'all? What is up? We are back for the finale of Diarra, y'all. Diarra from Detroit has taken us on a roller coaster, and we are here to talk about it. But first, we're about to jump into this intro.
Told you so extra, but I know I'm the same.
It's so cold in the deep. How the fuck do we supposed to keep peace?
All on the need of mine, murking and doing time. It's so cold, it's so cold, so.
That's like my favorite one, y'all. What is up, ladies? What is up?
What's
Hey.
good? What's good, everybody? It's cold in the D, baby.
Okay, so cold. So cold. That was the like
Yes.
okay, that was so dope. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. Y'all, so we here at the finale. I cannot believe that we are already here at the end. I cannot believe it has been 8 episodes, but I'm here for every last single bit of it. This was definitely a good watch. I'm so glad that I decided to watch this. I'm so glad that we decided to talk about it. But we got to get into this whole thing, y'all. So first and foremost, let's get the vibe checks. I don't see anybody commenting just yet. Well, I guess we'll have some people coming through at some point. But anywho, guys, what's your vibe check, Tika? What was you thinking about this episode?
Listen, I was like, oh my God, everything that I thought was not it. Like, but it was again, I was like, dang, I gotta go back and watch to see what I missed. But I was just like, and then okay, I'm like all over the place. But then my mind was like, damn, this the end. Like, we need to find out some more stuff. So if I had to rate it, I could get an episode of 10. Like, I was just totally, I know you didn't ask me that, but I'm gonna get an episode of 10. I was absolutely here for all of Diarra. No matter what, good and bad, indifferent, I love the show.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Okay, Tamieka, how was you feeling about it? What's your vibe?
Mm. It was a little mixture. I was enjoying it though. Definitely felt like, dag, this is the end. This is the last episode. I know we kind of touched on it last week when we was up here, where we felt like they wasn't gonna be able to wrap everything up, get all the answers to everything that quickly. So hopefully we would get a season 2. And I feel like the way that it left off, that has to happen. We definitely need it. Some more things need to be known. I had some questions with some stuff. I got a little nitpick with something, but I'll wait till later. And other than that, I was enjoying it, and I was just wanting to know, like, oh God, what's gonna happen? And of course, as usual, Diarra was stressing me the hell out.
Always. Always. Diarra is always doing the absolute most, y'all. But hey, that we've come to expect that at this point from her. So it
Yes.
is what it is. Okay, y'all. So let's first get into the very first part where we left off on the last episode was Diarra deciding, hey, I'm about to go back to the house. I'm going back to my hubby Swa. Now, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. My feelings towards Swa have completely changed from when we first started this to now. Like, I'm rooting for this whole Swa and Diarra thing to happen at this point. I know he made a mistake. I get that. I know he should have told her. I get that. But for some reason, I feel like these two really could vibe together. Like, I feel like they kind of they might be yin and yang, but yet at the end of the day, I feel like they just go together. So that's kind of where I'm at with the Swa thing. So that's exactly where we left off. Let me bring up the okay, here we go. That's exactly where we left off. Her coming back, and she felt like this whole situation was bringing them back together. Like, everything that happened somehow brought them back to this moment. How was y'all feeling about the very first opening scene where we kind of get to see Diarra and Swa together in what seemed to be I won't say their element. Well, I guess I could say their element because we know there's some elephants in the room, but still, it's still their element. Tamieka, you go ahead and start, and then Tika.
Yeah, I mean, I always like seeing them together on the screen. I think I said before that I like their chemistry, and I always kind of felt like what was really going on, like, was it more to the story that we didn't know, because it didn't seem enough to me for them to not be able to fix it if they really wanted to fix it and have more communication, maybe some type of counseling or something along them lines. You know, I felt like the stuff they were saying, I was like, okay, yeah, I could see that being an issue and causing a little disruption, but I don't know if we needed to take it to divorce level. So, but I always love seeing the chocolate on chocolate, on the screen. And I just think they have such a great little vibe when they are together.
Absolutely. Tika, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say I was always team Diarra and Swab because I saw some control type situations, some control red flags with Swab, but then as we get to see more of their relationship, more of them actually together, not really bickering, but they're doing their little thing where they kind of throw shots, but it's okay because it's like shot for shot, like this is how we vibe, this is how we get along. And so I have hope for them. Like you said, the one little thing that he did, the one little mistake he made, or we'll talk about that later. But it shouldn't. I don't feel like it should completely separate them. I think they can work back together and end up being the next PI firm in the business.
Okay, in that part, like they really do have a strong chemistry together. I really enjoy, like Tamieka was saying, seeing them on the screen together. It feels like right. You can tell that it's not forced. You know how you've seen some scenes where things are just so forced, and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is so forced. But theirs just was so genuine, and it just wasn't forced. So I really like that these two actors and actresses, the way their chemistry was, it felt so real, and the characters themselves as well also felt like this was a real thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I love that. I love that. Now let's talk about T and his hood doctor. They were so funny. Hey Daria, hey Lemon Kush Pepper. Thank you guys for coming through. We appreciate you guys. The hood doctor T, he got a little, the blicky caught him a little bit in the leg, and he thought he was on his way to the upper room, and he was calling for his man, and now turns out he has basically changed the locks and somehow got his man out of there, but yet was still calling for his man. Y'all, T is a mess. What's your thoughts on T and the fact that they went to go see Miss Vonda is who they went to go see, Tamieka?
Yeah. This part was hilarious, but I mean, listen, yeah, we can't go to the hospital, so we gotta go to the hood doctor. The hood doctor know what he doing, and so he say. But the girlfriend eating and dropping her chicken or whatever the heck it was all over his leg. Then he had the nerve to be like, "See, that's the rule. That's one thing you can't do. You can't say nothing to my girl."
That was funny.
If you want to be taken care of. But I like seeing Miss Vonda again too.
Yeah, I enjoy seeing Miss Vonda too, and I enjoy seeing this man. Lord have mercy, Jesus. Jesus, he know he fine. Okay, so anyway, back on track, back on target. Tika, any thoughts on T? I know this distracting right now, but any thoughts on T and the hood doctor? Don't get distracted.
I'm looking at these chocolatey abs in front of me. But yeah, wait, backtrack. You know me, I will get distracted by a fine man. It is what it is.
Girl,
But yeah, this the whole T situation, them going to Miss Vonda, because that was literally one of the only people that they could actually trust and know that was somebody that could actually, help them out of the situation that they were in. And just the comedic side, T and his man that he done kicked out, he finally got him out of the house. But how long will that last? Will we see T's DJ in the next season? So I was here for it, and I'm like, dude, you worried about? He sounded like D-Ray to me, but with the don't talk to my woman. You could do anything but talk to my man. Don't nobody want her. This man, he ain't even his type. But it was funny,
Okay.
it was funny that I'm gonna protect my woman even though I'm over here doing some illegal medical work.
Okay. And I'm sure that I mean, it's not that people can't go both ways, but I'm sure he just heard him say that he just kicked dude out. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
bruh,
Exactly.
come on, that's a little extra. So next we have the scene with Swa and Diarra, and of course we talked about there was still an elephant in the room. And Tika, you kind of touched on this part where you talked about how these two have a thing that they do. They go shot for shot, but it's their way of communication. It's their way. It's what they do. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
some of us just have these things that we do. I debate with my husband on a regular basis. That's just what we do. That's our thing. But it's not serious. And that's how you can tell that that's how their relationship has kind of been. And they kind of are like, look, we're going to, they talk about she's like, should we talk about it? And so he like been waiting to talk about this. And it was really cute and funny and all of that. But when it all came down to it, Diarra still has this innate need to know what happened to Deontay. So they decide to go listen to the tape, and whoever wants to start can start. Just kind of talk about the scene and then the everything that happened after that and the big secret that we learned and what was really happening, and just touch on that.
Yeah,
Anybody?
I like the bathtub scene. Besides the back and forth, which I like their little flow with that. Also, what Tika was mentioning earlier about the controlling part being something that was like, I don't know about that. He admitted to it, and we got a little bit more of his background and what makes him be that way. Being the oldest sibling, having to kind of, I guess, play a father slash big brother role. I can identify with that. So it's like it makes sense that that's the way he is. And she said a little controlling because, of course, he was like, I know a little bit, but he did admit it. So I was like, okay, at least he knows that's something that he do. And even though I'm not mad at it, it was like y'all took time to do. Y'all took time to get a nice little bubble bath. I'm not mad at either one of those things, but I was like, yeah, are we gonna ever hear what's on this damn tape? So I felt like they was reading my mind when he was telling her, like, you're gonna chill now, right? This gonna be the end of it, you're gonna be calm. And she kind of was like, you know what, I'm realizing, fun fact, I'm not the sit back chill kind anymore. Like, I need to know what's going on and kind of have a close to this. So I was glad when they went down there and proceeded to find the cassette player and put it this in. I was like, okay, we finally gonna hear something. What's it gonna be?
Exactly. And Tika, you kind of finish up the what happens next as they're listening to the tape, what's on the tape, and what is Swa's big secret, and then we'll go from there after that.
Okay, so before they actually listen to, well, they got to figure out how to play because this boombox looked like it probably hadn't been played in over 20 years. But he was like, okay, you got to turn around in the back and flip this up. And so anyway, of course, the tape that they're listening to still has some of the Mary J. Blige music on it, and they start dancing. I was like, oh, that's so sweet. But can we get to what the hell is on the tape? But I love that they had their moment because Mary J. Blige will take you back down the memory lane. So anyway, they hear the conversation. They hear Velvet on the tape. They hear Zervis on the tape. They're saying that we don't hear the chief on the tape. So the chief shouldn't really be concerned. But he's saying, nah, Swan's like, nah, I still got to get Goldie this tape because just get it out of our hair, in other words. And so then I believe after this they have that moment where he lets her know, it's like in all truth and sincerity, he breaks it down. And I believe this is the moment he let her know about the vasectomy. And all this time she was thinking that it was her, that wasn't, able to give him a child. She blamed herself even in the earlier scene, saying maybe if I had just gave him a child, this would have maybe some things would have changed. But he confesses and lets her know, and that's how he ends up telling her about the let's have an open relationship, because he was trying to use that as a distraction. So
Mm-hmm.
so
So
Go ahead, EJ.
No, I was just going to say, so back to what Tamieka was saying, was that this really was something that a little communication could have went a long way, because dude never really wanted an open marriage. He was trying to distract her from what the problem really was. This is why he went to the friend, because, or even if he might not even went to the friend at all, because he already knew what the issue was. So that was probably just something that he told her, but that's why he wouldn't go see her specialist, because if he went to see her specialist would have went ahead and told her what was really going on and the reason why they really wasn't conceiving. But there was just this big secret, and the crazy part about it is that this secret wasn't something that he did with her. It was something that he did before her, which to me was something that just really deserved communication. Hey, this is what I did. And then y'all could have either moved on together or not. I don't know if vasectomies are reversible or not, but I know plenty of people that say they done have vasectomies and still end up with some kids somehow, some way. So I just feel like a conversation could have been had. This was strictly a communication issue, big time. So I don't know. I think this relationship is salvageable, just depending on how, I think it's salvageable. That's
Yeah.
my thing. I think it is. All right, so let's move on, because now, she's a little upset now that she know exactly what happened, but she's more determined than ever to figure out what is going on. But most importantly, she needs to know who that other person is on the tape. Now, meanwhile, y'all, let's talk about Roman, because Roman gets the call from Velvet, and she wants to know where the tape is. Now she's figuring out that it's the wrong tape and all that type of stuff. And he basically tell Moni, like, look, let me be a man. Like, I'm like, dude, what you finna be a man? What you finna go do? Like, seriously, what do you have that you're finna go do? He, of course, doesn't know that it's the tape that that's missing. He think it's something totally different, right? So, anywho, she decides she's gonna go to see the one person who probably has the answer of who the other voice is. And Tamieka, let's start from there. She goes to see our boy Danger and kind of break down what's going on there. Hey, Monique, 69 Ways. What up? What up? What up?
Yeah, this scene, well, they always have their funny scenes or whatever, but of course he's focused on the fact that I know you still mad at me and things of that nature. He's in the middle of having his therapy session. Of course, she like, you need to get a licensed therapist. I don't know who this is. The banter back and forth between her and the therapist had me cracking up. She like, is this the damn I see that's been, doing these things, making you have to come back and see me again and, spill your guts and all that. But, she's like, I ain't worried about that right now. I need to know, and find out who this person was and how do you know for sure he's gone. And, of course, he starts explaining everything and he's saying that he knows where the body is buried at. And, of course, I don't know why he told her that, because he should have known the next thing was going to be, take me there. I need to see this for myself. She wanted to verify. And I kind of felt like it was a thing of him really believing that, not that he was lying to her, but maybe not having all the info that he needed to have. So this was a big moment when he was like, see, the body's there. He wasn't trying to get down in that grave and be looking at nothing, but she's like, no, I have to look. Don't worry, I got this. I'm going to look. And when she pulled up the teddy bear, like, this is not a body, that was a big release for him. That was like a weight lifted, but also like, well, damn, why would I be lied to for all this time, and have me thinking something like that was done if it wasn't. So I kind of, felt a little emotional with Danger.
Exactly. Me too, girl. I was like, dang, Danger. And then when he do that, almost like he was able to get it out of his throat finally. What's up, Cena, coming through? When he was finally able to get it out, I was like, dang. And just to know that somebody really messed with your head like that, that's crazy. Because it's like you said, he did truly believe it. He thought this was reality to him. He didn't know, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like he was telling no lies. He really thought that this really happened. Tika, any final thoughts on this scene?
I mean, I was just hoping we didn't see the little baby boy in that in that plastic bag. I had a sigh of relief just like Danger did. I was just like, but then of course just as Daria does, I'm like, okay, well dang, where is he? Is Chris really is
Yes.
really Deontay now? Like, what the hell? That's where my mind went. And I'm like, okay, now we really got to go figure out where the heck Chris is. So that's where my mind went.
So just like your mind was racing, the same was racing with our girl Diarra. Diarra finally was able to put the entire pieces together of the story now that she had more information. What is up, Donan? I think it says Donan. What is up? What is up? Appreciate you coming through. She was able to really put together the story at this point and figure out what happened. Now, we've had all these bits and pieces of this story for a while now, and now we're finally able to kind of mesh them all together. We know that Deontay was taken from the thing. We know that he was taken by accident by some idiots who got him confused with senior and junior. Still baffles me. So we know that part happened. We know that it was at the that not Zervis, but whoever was on top of Zervis, which is the chief. We know that it was his call. He told Zervis to do it. Zervis had to get somebody else to do it, so he got Velvet to do it. So because he got Velvet to do it, they sent them out there. They get the wrong person, which they got Quincy is the brother, and they got him to do it. He picked the wrong person. Lil Danger is the one who told him who it was, which is why he feels all this guilt. And then we know that, let me see, I want to make sure I want to go too far into what we know. So far we know all of that. And then we know that Velvet kidnapped him because she was looking for we all know it's the tape now, but she kidnapped Chris, who, was at this point, everybody's still trying to figure out, is Chris Deontay or is he not Deontay? But I feel like at this point, we should be pretty confident that Deontay, Chris are all the same person at this point. I think I'm 100% on it. Are y'all 100% or?
I'm still nervous.
You still nervous? Okay.
I'm still nervous. It's all signs literally point to him being Deontay. But shows like this will pull a full 360 on you and be like, oh dang, But there was also some other female that voice was on the tape that Diarra was like, we got to find out who she is, who that other female voice is too. I know that's gonna be. I think we're gonna find it out closer towards the end.
Yeah, that was Flora, and that was what she went to see Danger about because she wanted to know who was on the tape, and then that's how they ended up at the thing because he tried to convince her, like, look, because that's when she comes up with the big theory that no, what happened is that Flora kidnapped the how you kidnap the baby from the kidnappers. Flora kidnapped the baby
because initially I think he was saying, she never forget Violet Velvet, whatever her name is, never forgave her because she stole her money. But she was like, what if it wasn't never money? What if it's actually that she took Deontay, aka Chris, supposedly? And that's what she really was mad about. And then it was like she probably felt like she needed to cover it up because they can't know that he ended up getting away. So it was like, oh Lord, this thing got some twists and turns in here.
It got complicated because we also find out that Velvet is really in love with her. And if we go back a few episodes, we go back and remember that Flora was the one who came up with the bright idea that they needed to be at the club right on the night of the OJ shooting. And that's where we heard the name Flora from before, because when the strippers were talking about how it was Flora's idea, yada, yada, yada. But at that time, we didn't know that Flora was Velvet's chick. You know what I'm saying? So, So everything is kind of flowing. We're kind of getting everything together now. I love how the whole story is coming together. She also knows for a fact that their date was a cover-up. Their date was a cover-up because he needed to get a message to the man, because he did try to call Velvet, but Velvet didn't want to help him because she knew that would implicate her, because she was supposed to get rid of him. And then when he called, she also said, I loved her, and that's why I didn't say anything. That's why I let y'all go. So that's what makes me think 100% that this is Deontay who done found this box. Somehow, some way he found it, that somewhere maybe Flora still had it. She was keeping it for insurance, and he found it and then went chasing after his past. That's what I think. So yeah, so that's kind of where we are. Diarra's putting all of this together because her mind is racing about everything that has happened. And I was like, dang, Diarra really be putting these pieces together. She really do. So, and this was when they, when they kidnapped him, when they came up with the plan, they wanted to get the tape back and all that stuff. So I'm gonna go past that. So let's talk about Miss Vonda and Diarra. Did y'all think she was about to tell it? Did y'all think it was about to happen?
I wanted her to, but I didn't think she was. I think she kind of feels like maybe she don't want to tell her till she absolutely knows. But then this is one of my little bit of nitpicks somewhat that I was thinking about, because Diarra 1 minute was all ready and saying, yes, all this happened for me to be with Suave. This is my happy ending. This is where I'm meant to be. But now we're back on track with this investigation, and we're saying how, I'm closer to finding Deontay, and could he be the one for me? And can that be my happy ending? But at the same time, we just kind of like throw in there, oh yeah, and by the way, this actually might have a big impact on his mama. I didn't think about how much this was going to do to her. Like, I'm like, how the heck is that an afterthought? How you was thinking more about this being the man possibly for you than the fact that his mama basically think he's a goner and he's been away from her for all these years. So it was kind of funny at the same time, but also annoyed me a little bit. But I love the interaction between them two and how she was like, what else is going on here with you, girl? You popping up over here for something. Your daggone friend is, popped upstairs. And, her asking her for advice without getting into the details, when she was like, are you going to tell me what it's really about now? Huh?
I know, right? I mean, that part was very interesting to me. And then I want to hold on, let me see if I can find these real quick, because there are a couple of things that we have to hold on, y'all. Let me find my slides. Tika, you go ahead and talk about that while I find my other slide that I'm looking for real quick. Go ahead and talk about Miss Vonda and what you was thinking.
Yeah, I was just glad she didn't say, "Oh, I think Deontay is still alive." You know what I mean? I didn't want her to give Vonda false hope in case she doesn't actually find him. But I do like how Miss Vonda is, no matter what, she's still a woman, a mother, and she can still tell when something is not right with somebody, especially her not even really knowing Diarra as much, but she still could tell that there was something that was bothering her. And so when Diarra gave her the tape, I was like, girl, go play the tape, Miss Vonda, go play the tape.
Yes.
But, of course it was like, but she's like, if I don't come back, then play the tape or whatever the case may be. But I was hoping she would just go on and play that tape anyway. But
yeah, that was funny too, because she was like, I told you I don't listen to no Mary nothing, and even I know that no damn podcast be on cassette tapes, because she told her, this is my podcast.
Absolutely, positively. All right, y'all. So there is going, and we'll travel back to, I'm not going to bring that up just yet. We'll come back to that in a minute. First, we are going to go ahead and talk about the big scene that happens, the big plan. So Diarra and her big plans, that she don't never think anything through all the way. She a doer. She extra, like she said, and at least she knows it. She knows it.
Yeah, she sure is.
She does the absolute most. But I love this moment with her and Moni, where she tells Moni, like, look, I will split the reward money with you, all that, but you are a wife and a mother, and she's not gonna let her go up in there. She gonna go do the craziness. You ain't gonna be crazy, Moni. So I really, really appreciated that. And I did hear when Moni said, so you leaving me again or something like that, which I always knew that she felt that way, that she felt like she had kind of, just left her. And that was really where the tension had came in when we first saw these two together initially. So yeah, your girl Diarra is out here about to go up into a full-blown situation. Let's talk about it. Tamieka, I'm gonna let you go ahead and start out because Diarra done went up in the she is about to go up in the house, but the plan is for Danger to go in the house. So let's start from there.
Yeah, Danger apparently gave her the layout. He go in apologizing and saying, yeah, you right, I made a mistake, she had me fooled, and we want the Greeks is about to be meeting with them, and it's like, when? Now, so they say, she told them to go check it out, and I guess Daria thought that she was going to be leaving too. So he's trying to give her the warning that she didn't go with the rest of them, but she ain't answering her damn phone, which I was like, of course not. And he's still busy trying to, keep her busy while she's sneaking in and basically letting us know how Danger gave her the whole layout. But, of course, it's different when you actually get inside. But she didn't seem to really have, I guess he gave her good instructions because she didn't really have a hard time finding what she was looking for. And in the meantime, when he was down there and, he tried to make the call real quick, Violet ends up coming behind him like, what you got there. And he basically lets her know that, he knows about Deontay and shows this other tape and was saying, do you ever still watch it? Or do you ever think about the past? And she was like, why would I do that? Like the past is in the past. And, he said, well, you still got the tape and you got a VC. I said, that's true. So, I liked that he was trying to help her, but I was like, I don't think this plan is going to go the way they think it's going to go.
Okay, that part. So after their conversation, we are going to see Diarra finding the tape, but she also finds another thing. She finds a photo, which we will talk about this photo at the very end. But she finds the key. And now she found the key, but the problem is that somebody else done showed up. Tika, your boy Roman showed up. Can you talk to us about what the hell Roman is doing?
I'm like, what are you doing there, Roman? Why? You can't save anybody. I don't know what it was that he thought he was going to be able to do. I don't know if he felt like he needed to go talk to Velvet. He knows Velvet is evil. He knows Velvet has literally, her and the little crew has taken over his shop. What kind of reasoning is there to, bargain with her? Like, you don't have the tape. You don't even know what it is that she wants. But yet, he's there because he's trying to show Mona that he is a man. Like, Roman, you a man by staying alive. Why the heck are you at that house? So anyway, he was a distraction, but in my mind, in the back of my mind, I'm like, Diarra, please hurry the heck up. Please hurry up, get out of there, find what it is. And they were she was looking for a key. And I'm like, girl, hurry up and get out of there. Hurry up and get out of there. Because they kind of put two and two together as to where she thought Deontay, quote unquote, Chris would be. So he was there. At this point, he was just a distraction because he didn't really help.
Exactly. He coming up in there thinking they looking for the green, and Paula said Diarra said this was important, dude. Come on now. That was crazy. That don't even make no sense. Like, come on now. If they wanted the car, if that was what it was with the Woodward boys, which she is a part of. You know what I'm saying? She could have been had. Like, to me, I'm just like, Roman, that don't make no sense. But whatever. He just trying, I get it. He just trying to do whatever that he think he can. But in this moment, this was like the bad call because it kind of messed with the plan that they had. So now Diarra has to cause a distraction to get Velvet to try to come back there. So of course she throws the flowers, down. But then Quincy comes back up, and lo and behold, the Greeks are following right behind them, right? So now we're about to have a shootout. It's about to be a lot going on because basically this was all a setup. Now we gotta remember to talk about the fact that Diarra has switched up everything. The meet with Goldie switched up. So that's not actually happening. She swapped the tape. She did all of these things and put all of these things in place. So that location was a fake location, of course, and that's how they end up going head to head. And now they coming back to get at them. And now we're about to have a shootout, and all hell is about to break loose. Tamieka, let's talk about the shootout um and go all the way up to where we're in the basement and the scene in the basement.
Yeah, like I said, this was the part that definitely had me like, girl, and I'm glad she said, you know what, this was a dumb damn idea. I don't know what the hell I was thinking about, because she's swearing that, she got all the control. She's not really telling everybody all the business, kind of mixing it up. We done took the tape and we done switched it. We got Swab waiting, thinking he about to be meeting up, and he not. He just standing there waiting for nothing. I was like, is this putting him in even more danger, or is this the help? We got the Greeks coming there to them. Then when she was trying to get oh God, what is his name? The husband,
Roman.
I forget. Roman, when she trying to get his attention and he don't hear her at all, then finally, when he does, they was gonna try to go out the door, but it was too late. So they had to go down to the basement, and she sees that she took the thing from her house, which does look like a daggone dildo to me, even though she keeps saying that it is not. But she's like, okay, yeah, this is our way out, or whatever the case may be. All of that part had me laughing, but I like the little part of her saying, like, because we know he called himself helping, even though he wasn't, and that was the whole thing with him telling her, let him be a man. But she was like, your wife is, gonna be waiting for you. She's there for you, and she's doing everything that she can, because she cares about you. And he kind of was like, yeah, I could say the same thing about Swa. Is the same way he feels about you, but she didn't want to really hear that part. So I was like, yeah, I got time to stop and talk about this now. Like, can we get the hell out the damn house? But of course they end up getting caught down there. And now we gotta have a little struggle. Yeah, the dagger dildo.
Oh my goodness, Monique's so crazy. Trying to laugh. I said not the dagger dildo.
Because he was like, it's not. What the heck is it?
Okay, because that's the first thing I thought. She told me she took this from me.
Mm-hmm. And even when Violet took it, that's what she thought it was. She was like, everybody keeps thinking that's what it is. I was like, yeah, I don't know what the heck that was supposed to be, but yeah.
Okay, exactly. So now we know Roman has the dagger dildo in his hand because he was going to break the window. So that's how he ends up with it in his hand. And then we have this moment where Velvet comes down and, she's, Danger's trying to get them to get out of there or whatever. But at this point, Velvet feels like Danger has betrayed her because, she never knew that old girl was in there. She knew Roman was there, but she never knew that Diarra was there. So now it's at a point where we got the Greeks up here, and then we got them down here. And now she wants to get at her. And it's just so much going on in this one little moment. But Danger is going to try to protect her. Tika, you want to talk about this moment where he tries to protect her, and then what happens?
Yeah, but you got the shootout, you got the pop off upstairs, you got them struggling downstairs. So I honestly don't recall how. I just know he was trying to talk her out of whatever she was doing, and then the next thing I see, Roman is behind her and then poked her with the dildo dagger and like, and but I didn't. What was going on? Did she have? Like,
yeah, they had a struggle.
Like,
they had a struggle. Yeah, she knocked her out, and then Daria was thinking. I guess she was grabbing her hair, but maybe she thought it was a weave or her real hair. She definitely wasn't expecting it to be a wig and her to be standing there bald, because she was like, "Oh, sorry,
my bad."
Yeah. And then Roman just came out of nowhere. I ain't mad at it, but I was like, y'all not gonna take that with y'all. Y'all just gonna leave that sticking in her neck like that with your prince on it. But me, I'm always worried about the prince. And also when Moni, that's her name, right? Child, I'm forgetting the people names now. When she put the the little statue that Daria left with her on pedal so that the car could go and hit, because it was a mess. It was a mess outside. It was a mess inside. So she did her little, input to help as well, to kind of distract them with the car. But I was like, please take that thing out her neck. That's all I was saying with that part. And then, of course, Danger ends up telling them to leave. They can't be there when she's found. Don't worry about it. And she tell him, don't die.
Exactly. And there was that little tender moment, because at the end of the day, Velvet did raise him as her own. And there was that tender moment where he's holding her as she's taking her last breath, and he kisses her on the forehead. And then we have Diarra, who comes to try to comfort him as he's trying to comfort her in her last moment. It was just a thing right there where and Danger's just, like you said, he tells them to go ahead and leave. And then you got Roman, who is over there in shell shock because he has literally unalived somebody. And Diarra has to kind of coax him, and, like the face thing, it's a tender thing when people that hand on your face, and she got to like coax him into getting up out of there. And he tells her, do not tell Moni. Right. So I was like, oh, Lord, here we go.
And she told him she wasn't going to tell, but I was like, would y'all grab that? That's all I kept going back to. Would y'all grab that? Because everybody going to know it's you in a minute if they test them their fingerprints.
I was thinking on that part. I was thinking that even though they left that little piece there, I felt like Danger would clean it up for them. Like, he wasn't going to just, we saw her like that, but I felt like Danger was going to kind of like clean it up to where I was hoping, to where it doesn't like come back on anything that Diarra has going on. So
that would make sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So now we know exactly what the original scene that we saw when this show first started. This was the original scene. This was definitely had me thrown off. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, because I wouldn't have never guessed that it was Velvet, because who knew that she was, as Monique say, a bald headed, skinny wig,
ain't got no hair on bed.
Who knew that? But yeah, he could definitely say it was the Greeks. Like, it's and just clean off the weapon. Yeah, I agree, Mo. So there we have it as far as what this scene was. We all wondered what the heck it was, and Diarra walking to the door. Now she has the key, y'all. She has the key. She's going. She's finally found him. She's doing this whole monologue. And Tamieka, I absolutely 100%, 1,000% agree with you. That was my pet peeve as well, because we just talked about this whole moment where, oh, maybe all of this happened to bring me back to SWA. And we know that her and SWA don't have I'm not going to say they ain't no real issues. They have things that can be worked out and that can be worked through. And I don't feel like that should have any love should have been lost because of, like where we're at right now. I just feel like this is a lot for you to be riding on the fact, was it real? Was it not? Like, this was a Tinder date. This was something you were supposed to get up under so that you could try to help yourself get over the situation you was going through at the time. That baffled me so much, just like it baffled you about the thought process of Diarra, of where we're at now. The fact that you want to just save this person because, you're solving a crime, I get that. But the fact that we're actually talking about a potential love interest for you two, I don't get it.
I was kind of disappointed with that part a little bit. It wasn't a big thing, but it definitely was like, this is kind of annoying me. I want you to be more concerned that, yes, I'm solving this case. I'm about to find him in here. Hopefully everything is good. He's okay. I can get him out of here. I didn't really want you to be like, okay, so is this the one for me? Was it real? Did he feel the way that I felt? I'm like, girl, what? I know that's how we started out, but I felt like after everything that's happened and where we're at now, maybe we would have been a little bit more,
Yeah. And I hear you, Monique, about love lost due to him lying about his snip, but you just don't fall out of love. Like, this was all in the same day. that just didn't quite.
Yeah, it wasn't even a
Well,
couple of hours. I don't think she fell out of love that quick.
like you literally just found out about it, and you was just literally telling him about how much you missed him. Like, God dang, like, wait a minute, like it was just that little, and I get it was just a little irritation. It's not like it was like something major, but it was just like, come on now.
Yeah,
But
it definitely wasn't major, but I was like, yeah, this is a little nitpick for me with that part. I wouldn't
yeah.
have wrote it that way, but
Yeah, and Diarra was working my nerves, so I guess it would have worked if she hadn't have said all those things about Swa, and when she went back to him and how it felt like they were, you know what I'm saying? Maybe if we hadn't had that moment, then I'd be like, oh, okay. But it's just like with that moment in there, it's like, So we get up to the shed. Finally, we get to the shed, y'all. And now here we go. Chris, Deontay, Ambien. Okay, like let's go. Now, I do just want to point this out, y'all, that when Chris, let me see if hold on, let me pull this up. When she walks in, he sees this is what he sees. He doesn't see Diarra, he sees this. Now, the reason why this is important is because this is a flashback from when he was saved. And it goes back to when Flora saved him. Now, Flora, I took a picture of her, y'all, so we could kind of compare them. Looks the same to me. But Flora was Velvet's girl, and we know how Flora looks because Flora also worked at the club. And when we had that whole OJ scene, we got all the photos of Flora. We just didn't know who she was at the time. Right. So, anywho, that's what he sees when she first walks in. Then he realizes that it's her. And, and they have this moment. He puts his head on her forehead, and you're just like, I don't know. I was annoyed, but he puts his head on his forehead, and then they walk off into the sunset, and they go get in the car. And Tamieka, give me your analysis.
Yeah, I was happy that she found him. Like I said, just that little part, and then we all in the car, and we like, yes, we getting out of here. We gonna get this reward money, and Daria, of course, mine is still kind of fluttering and going to different things. Like, yeah, I'm happy that we got him, but we still have some things we gonna have to handle, some more questions. Like, you expect them to be feeling a certain way, but we not necessarily feeling the way that we thought we would feel. Is not a complete closure, but we do have the most important piece right now, who we was looking for. And poor Swa, he's still standing out there. He realizing that, she ain't, they ain't coming to meet me, and this ain't even the damn tape. He finally takes it out of his pocket and is like, of course, she did the old switcheroo, and he leaving her a message. And I did like the fact that the message he was leaving was like, of course you ain't answer, but I hope everything's okay. I hope you being safe. And yes, you being a detective is turning me, it is a turn on. I am kind of feeling that. I like to, he said that, and like, let me know that you are okay. And I'm wondering if she is going to become a detective. I just did a review on Devil in a Blue Dress, and, Easy became a detective after they gave him that first case. So I'm like, is that going to be her new job now? But it was also interesting that Chris, / Deontay was like, well, where we off to now? I would think he would want to go find his family. So I don't know. But
girl, that's the same thing I said. I said, where we off to now? We going to go see your mama. What you
right.
Like, that got to be the next logical place that we're going to is to see your mama. But yeah. Hold on. Mo said it's major if he got her thinking she the one with the problem of getting pregnant. And I'm not saying that it's not a major lie. I mean, it is a major lie. It is it's a bad lie, but I'm saying like it's still workable, throughable, and that shouldn't change. Like, we're talking about she just found out about it like literally an hour maybe ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so if you just found out about this, but and now we're going straight back to, was it real with Ambien? Was it this? Like, but you just said that you missed Swa. You just you just professed
it was like saying that all of this happened from the beginning because of what happened with her and Swa, and it was meant to happen to bring her back to Swa. But then now you're going back and saying, oh well, me and Ambien is meant to be. You know, was it really? I don't know. That was just a little bit too much flip flopping between the two of them. Now, just the situation with her and Swab by herself, and the fact that he lied about that, I wasn't mad at her for being mad. I would have been mad too and got in my car and drove off. I think she had a natural reaction that you would expect to have, because that was a conversation that they could have been had. Because you're finding out that this was something that was done before he even got with you, so it's like you could have been said something all this time. And then for her to catch on and be like, "Well, what was really the truth? You was just trying to treat me like, you know, how you are in the courtroom and do a diversion. So you did all of this just not to admit something that you could have been a minute that could have really, you know, had us not go through everything we went through." But it still didn't make sense to me for her to be. I mean, I get it. I know that's what they had been doing since the beginning with the chemistry that they were supposed to have, you know, with the date, which I never really understood from the beginning anyway. So I guess I just can't relate to that part.
Yeah.
But I
No,
understood that that's the way they was taking it, you know.
yeah. I wholeheartedly completely agree with you on that one. It was just like one of those things. It's like, okay. But you know, at the same time, you know, it is what it is. Diarra, Chris, Ambi, and Deontay. Oh my God, they all got so much going on. So, so now let's talk a little bit. Hola, Queen. Let's talk a little bit about kind of what's next. So I love the part about Swa, how he tells her about the PI thing, like what you were talking about, how that turned him on. We do see that Aja, I do like how they wrap things up, because they wrapped up the fact that Aja does get the, you know, it's subtle. They didn't have to make a big thing about it. They just made a cute little thing. Aja got exactly what she wanted, you know. But we also see Mama Vonda over here still holding this tape, like wanting to look at the tape. Now, we got to talk about the elephant in the room, because there was a big part that is about to take us on another roller coaster nonetheless. There's this. What the hell is Miss Vonda doing on a picture?
That's what I was confused. I said, wait a damn minute.
I mean, she could have been in the club scene. You know, she was still relatively young, and so she could have been in the club scene when the picture got snapped. But we can't really tell who all is in the picture at this point. We got to see who is that. Her husband, is that Deontay Senior? Not that we know the man's name, but is that the daddy? You know what I mean? Like, is that who she's cuddled up with? Who else is there? You know, in that particular group? Maybe, I mean, at the end, this part of where they live, Detroit, could be relatively a smaller area where everybody kind of knows everybody. I'm sure Miss Vonda is familiar with Velvet. You know what I mean?
Inquiring minds definitely want to know, because if they was like, you know, maybe they hung out in the past and they wasn't still hanging out, but then why would they have needed Danger to go to say who he was when they got put on the job? If she already had a history, then wouldn't she know who they are? So I don't know. It just definitely had me with more questions. I was like, wait a damn minute. That's when I really was like, I'm confused. What's going on? I got questions.
And that's why we need a part 2.
Exactly, because this is where more questions start to come up. Because first, there's the fact that we took a child on accident that we didn't know, right? We took this child, and then now we know that Quincy is the one who got the child. So there's a thing where you could say, well, maybe Quincy didn't know who Vonda was, and maybe once the kid gets there, they say the kid still got to go. And maybe this is why Flora took the kid, because she is familiar with Vonda and she does know who she was, and she wasn't going to let her take this kid. Like, maybe that's where we get the piece of why Flora was so adamant about kidnapping the kidnapped kid. Like, maybe that's where that comes into play. But there is no ring on that finger, which I would assume him hugging her like this would put you on your left hand, which is where people typically put their rings on, right? So and we know that she was still married at the time when little man went missing. So is this prior to little man going missing? Is this like when is this after
Right. Yeah,
missing?
this
Who
gives
is
us
this
so
before?
many questions. And why is Velvet got it burned out? And then at Vonda house, she got it framed where it's just showing her. So who is this mystery person?
And why is
Inquiring
this
minds want
picture
to
so
know.
important? Like, it's
Yes.
important enough for you to put this picture up on your wall. Like, why is this picture important? Why is this picture important for Velvet to keep it and burn out the person who in it, but yet you keep the picture? Like, what is the importance of this picture? Girl, I left this with so many doggone questions. It was ridiculous.
That burned out means, I mean, that burned out could mean, not saying I'm right, but it could be like that was my man, and what she doing sitting there with my man, which so like I don't want a memory of your face anymore, so let me burn, meaning not Vonda but Velvet, let me burn your face out because I'm mad at you. That's normally what we do in relationships. When you dating somebody
Mm-hmm.
and you get pissed off at them, you gonna either burn the pictures, you gonna cut up the pictures, tear them up, something to that effect. Or this person, whoever it is, has done something to Velvet to piss her off to the point where she burnt out his picture.
Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
for a second I was like, well, maybe it's a female hand, but I inspected it a little closer and it wasn't. It's definitely a male hand. And
Yeah, I thought it could have possibly been a female, but then I was like, no, that looked like a man's hand. Yeah,
Mhm.
that was definitely. I thought I was bugging. I definitely set up on that part. I said, wait a minute, is that the same damn picture with Miss Wanda? What the hell is going on here?
Same doggone picture. So it's definitely going to be interesting. I hope that BET Plus renews this for a two, you know what I'm saying? Because this was actually very intriguing. This was very good. This was very well written, very well put together. And I have one question for you guys because I knew we was going to be talking about this a lot, but I have one big question. But before I get into the big question, so I have one so you think you're a TV junkie trivia question. That's it. But before we get into that, um, any questions, any thoughts? Like, what were your final thoughts on just the ending, the closure, and what questions did you have? Those were some of mine. What questions did y'all end up having? Tika, you start, and then Tamika.
Yeah, I didn't. I of course I had questions, but I really just wanted to see the interaction with Miss Vonda as well as Deontay slash Chris. I wanted to see if she was gonna be like, oh my baby, like that reuniting. I wanted to see the two of them back together, or is she gonna take him straight to the police department so they can get that money and then go and then take him home. But I'm just more looking forward to just seeing the reunion between the mother and the son. And then I also like that flashback moment that he had because somebody came to save him the first time, and now somebody else is coming to save him again from that person being Diarra. So I like how they kind of gave us that back little bit of that backstory. And that was pretty much it. I'm just like BET Plus. Let's go. Come on, give us season 2. Um, yeah, that's it. I made a mistake and looked at Monique comment about unsubscribing. Don't renew it, girl. There's so much other stuff on there, but they got to give us a season 2. This show has been on a whole other level of creativity. Like we're natural, we nosy naturally anyway, but to kind of force us to become investigators. I was definitely here for that. We was on our Nephew Drew ish for real. Week to week we were on our Nephew Drew ish. So shout out to Diarra for giving us something so amazing, and let's go BET Plus, give it to us again.
Absolutely, Tamika.
Yeah, I definitely think they need to give us more. I think that this show, like you said, very creative, very original, different from a lot of the other shows. Definitely stands alone. And I still want daggone answers. Also, T, you needed to hold on to your man a little bit longer because, baby, he done called the daggone detective. And he was like, sorry about your relationship. He's telling him about how they broke up.
Mhm. That show did happen. That's
Oh
the other
my
question. I
God.
forgot about that one. That's the other question. What's going to go on with that? Because now the detective said he would be coming back if he found out that she was there. And now it's like, okay, now how is SWA going to save her from this? Because I still,
Right.
she gonna have to have some saving. There's a lot of explaining that has to be done, and Monique has a point. You can't go to the police right now because the chief is still out there, and we really don't know who the chief is. We don't know if he's inside.
Exactly.
We don't know who he is. Like,
Mhm.
it's a mystery, but we do know that file was destroyed, and with that file being destroyed or redacted, rather, a lot of stuff was redacted out of it because it wasn't destroyed. But with that file having, being redacted, somebody on the inside had to have done this. So it could
Mhm.
very well be that the chief is indeed a police officer. He could be the police officer, the chief. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know who he is. Like, he's still a
Yeah.
mystery. So there's just so many unanswered questions, but yet at the same time, there were so many answered questions, but just enough to keep you wanting
Yeah.
to come back and needing to know certain things. So I think that they
Mhm.
did a perfect job with it. Like Tika said, we was out here, me and Nancy Drew. I'm telling you, because I got all my stuff. I'm like, this right here and this right here. And like,
Right.
I literally am invested in this show at this point, and they got to come back with a season 2. So let me give y'all the So You Think You're a TV Junkie question. Let's see if y'all looked at any of the after show things. This is from the after show. And the question is, who was originally supposed to play SWA?
No, I don't know.
Somebody said, what's SWA real part in this? Oh, so y'all think so you think SWA is, there's some extra stuff going on with SWA? I don't know. Honestly, I really don't think SWA has anything to do with this one. Like, I don't feel like he did. Not like how I felt about Danger. Danger was giving me. And is Danger alive? Like, there's another question. Just came to me.
Man,
All right,
listen,
y'all.
if they don't give us Danger on the second season, we still need Danger. Like, because we need another massage. And I know she gonna go back and reach back to Danger for either some chili or that massage or a combination of both. I'm just saying.
Oh, and that was funny too when the therapist was like, he was massaging all in your behind and everything. I was like, oh.
Yes.
Exactly. Okay, y'all. So let's look
No,
at
I
this
don't
real
know.
quick. I'm gonna answer this question for y'all.
Really good at rolling with the punches anyway, because when you auditioned, you came in for SWA.
Yeah.
And you started reading and we're like, I don't know if he's quite SWA.
So Chris, Ambien, Deontay was originally tried to go out for the part of SWA, but he didn't get that part, and he ended up being Ambien instead because that was more his speed, which I wholeheartedly agree with them.
I
He
agree with
is
that.
not
Yeah.
a SWA. SWA was played exactly by the person who was
Yes.
supposed to
Yep.
play
Mhm.
SWA.
Yep.
100% agreed. I thought that was a good call. So anyway, y'all, that's it for DR. I am so sad, y'all. So sad.
I know. Now I'm gonna go back and put my little board together and be prepared for season 2 because I know they gonna come back with a season 2. I can just feel it.
And it's about to be a whole bunch of more questions, even more
Right.
questions. The way that they did this, I can see them doing, and I'm like, okay, so how are we going to go with this? Where are we going to go? We got this mystery solved, but now we got a whole nother mystery because we still don't know who the chief is, which is all Deontay Chris, aka Ambien, wanted to know from the jump. He didn't want money. He wanted doggone.
Yes.
He wanted doggone answers about the chief. Who was the chief? And there's
Yep.
another question. Where the hell is Flora? Where did she disappear to?
Exactly. That's what I was wondering. What about Flora? Like, where did she go? Did she go hide out somewhere? Yeah, I'm definitely making my crime board. And but yeah, like, are we gonna see Flora? Are we gonna, now that Velvet is gone, because maybe she was somewhere hiding, maybe because Velvet was threatening her. And she had this big old secret that she had to hold from Velvet. So maybe we'll get to see her, back into the limelight. I got my own storyline, y'all. I'm ready.
Look, Monique's
That part.
so crazy.
That part, Monique. That part.
Danger out here massaging glutes and stuff, But anyway, y'all, we're about to get up out of here. Let me take a look at the chat first. Lemon Kush Pepper, thank you for coming through. Daria came to, I don't know, saying your name and trying to say Diarra, boy, just threw my tongue. That was a tongue twister. Daria came through. Monique 69 Ways, Lemon Kush Pepper, Donna. We appreciate you guys. Everybody who, Queen, appreciate you for coming through. Everybody who was in the building or in the virtual building but did not say anything, we appreciate you guys for coming through. Tika, what you got going on your channel? What's up next for you?
Okay, so on all things. Well, first of all, thank you, EJ, for allowing your girl to come through and talk about Diarra. I felt a little behind sometimes, but you kind of helped me make some sense out of a lot of stuff that was going on this show. It definitely, like I said, pulled out the investigative side of myself with a lot of the stuff that was going on. So this has been absolutely so much fun. And on my channel, All Things Ruthless, I'm going to be doing another What Did I Just Watch? A Tubi movie. So be prepared because Tubi been literally killing the game with this whole, and Detroit, oh my God, they've been killing the game with these Detroit writers, producers, directors, and actors. So that's where my next Tubi movie review is gonna come from. As well as I got this little mystery segment that I do called That's Ruthless, where I'm just gonna talk about random stuff from the weekend, and then it'll include another movie review, and that's pretty much it. Because we don't have Ruthless, we don't have Diarra, like I don't have the Oval, so I'm just gonna wing it, y'all, and y'all just make sure y'all are tapped in, hit the notification bell. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And when your girl bring you content, it's gonna ding 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 ding, and you'll know I got something new for you. So, but that's it. That's it. This is always, as always, this has been fun. What up, Candy?
What up, Candy? Tamieka, the busiest woman in YouTube has returned, y'all, and y'all know she got some stuff going on. So go ahead and let the people know.
Yes. Earlier today, Moochie, myself, and Inga did. Oh Lord, I
Let's
don't
do it
forgot what the
again.
heck. Let's do it again. Yes, thank you. If y'all didn't get a chance to check that out, that was our Sunday throwback movie. Then tomorrow we'll be doing Road to Perdition, one of my favorites. That's my Mafia Monday movie. And then of course I'll be with the ladies to discuss BMF a little later on, Monday night. And I'll let EJ tell y'all about Tuesday. And then Thursday, for real this time, it's going down movie night with the ladies, Shirley. We're going to be talking about that. And then I'm trying to get all the ladies to join me Friday for Harlem Night. So a busy week. If y'all could come through, checking it in. Thank you, EJ, for having me and telling me about this show. I enjoyed it so much.
Absolutely. Hey, Monique, we talked about them. We talked about them on yesterday, I believe. We did parts 1 through 4. And on Tuesday, we are going to be doing parts 5 through 8. So we're going to be rounding that up. I am going to do another video on Diarra because I'm so invested in
I
this show.
gotta finish watching it. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah. I'm going to be doing a kind of like an ending explain type of video and just going over the whole thing and kind of explaining how all the things kind of played out. So that way, if you had any questions or you were confused about anything, your girl's about to go in here and Nancy drew this thing up, about to go tell you everything that happened. So I'll definitely look out for that. That's actually going to be this week. I'm working on that now. And then I also am working on my rewatch for The Family Business. I'm on season 2, episode 1. Once I finish up season 2 and 3, y'all, then that's it. I'm just going to do a catch-up recap over 4 because I already did all those. For the slow people. Girl, you so silly, Candy. Girl, she's talking about me. But anyway, so we're gonna be doing that. We have our movie night this week too, y'all. So don't forget to check out our movie night. We're gonna be talking about Shirley. Your girl Tamieka is gonna be hosting. So make sure y'all keep y'all notifications turned on for that. And then I actually have a new segment that I am trying to drop this week, y'all. It's called the TV Junkie Therapy Sessions, where your girl is going to be taking some people. We're basically going to be having therapy. First up is going to be Lucille and Charles. And then after that, we're going to be doing Diarra and Swa. So I think it's definitely going to be a little interesting. So I hope you guys will check that out.
Oh, I love that.
So we gonna see how it's gonna go. See if y'all rock with it or not. And then after that, I think that's all we got going on this week. I think that's all the ladies got too, right? Just the movie night and then we'll come back around with BMF next week. Y'all know the deal. BMF next week. But other than that, it's y'all. So we're about to get up out of here. We appreciate everyone coming through and hanging out with us. And we will see y'all guys next time. Peace.